Today, all 17 UKIP councillors in Thurrock resigned from the party en masse to set up a new organisation called Thurrock Independence. The group says it will be prioritising local issues above national politics. Well, let's speak to the leader of the Thurrock Independence and the former leader of the Thurrock UKIP group, Graham Snell. Graham, good evening to you.
Good evening, Ian.
Why are you doing this?
Well, we're doing it because we feel that we're better able to focus on local politics by doing this. We're finding as we're going around door to door that the national scene is really colouring people's view of what we're doing locally. And they're saying to us, look, we'd really love to vote for you guys. You do a lot of good work, but we just can't vote for UKIP.
So the chaos around your leader, Henry Bolton, or your former leader, Henry Bolton, is starting to play out on the doorstep now?
It certainly is, yeah. To be fair, we've been thinking about doing this for a while, and things have come to a bit of a head. And we thought, well, now's as good a time as any. We've always focused on local politics anyway. We've been campaigning on local issues now for the entire time we've been elected. And we've got a very good, solid local group of people doing really good local work for local people. We just wanted to continue doing that. And, national politics could be so divisive. So we just feel that if we can take that out of the picture, we can much better concentrate on the local scene.
Because you in the leadership contest, I think you pretty much en masse supported Peter Whittle. He didn't win, Henry Bolton did. Is this a case of throwing your toys out the pram because you didn't get the guy you wanted?
No, not at all. In fact, at the time, we thought, well, do you know what? This guy, we didn't know him, but he looked like he could well be a safe pair of hands. And we thought, no, let's go with this and see what happens. But what's happened has not been very edifying. And really, it made up our minds for us that this idea that we've had and has been germinating for a little while now, let's go for it, let's do it.
Now, your council colleague, Tim Aker, he'll sit as a Thurrock independent on the council, but I understand at the moment he's staying in UKIP when sitting as an MEP. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I can see why people would see there's a conflict there, but UKIP still has a job to do in Europe. I mean, they've still got the job over there of ensuring that we can try and get the best deal possible for the whole Brexit scenario. But I mean, Tim is still doing that job. But in terms of what he does in Thurrock, I mean, he's divorcing himself from the national side of things and absolutely campaigning. And again, in Aveley, where he's the councillor, we only ever campaign on local Aveley issues. The national scene doesn't come into it. So again, it's really not that much of a leap. It's what we've been doing all the time anyway. But
he might have to serve two masters. There might be some conflict and he'll have to jump one way or the other. Are you content to leave that to his personal conscience?
Well, that's a question you need to put better to Tim. We've spoken.
But he's in your party. You've got to kind of take care of him as well, and give him the instruction. Are you confident he'll follow your lead?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's always been a delineation between Tim's role as an MEP and Tim's role as councillor. Tim's had absolutely no problem following my lead up till now, and I can't see that changing.
Should not all 17 councillors resign because you stood on a UKIP slate and now you're changing the branding?
Yeah, that's quite ironic, isn't it? Is that we raised this as an issue a few years ago, and we felt at the time that it was the decent and right thing to do. However, we got absolutely no backing. In fact, we got a lot of knockback from the other two parties in Thurrock who absolutely would not support that as a way to do business. So there is no compulsion for us to do that, and we still believe it's the right thing to do. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to play to different rules to the other parties. We asked for their support in this motion, in this way of going about business. They knocked it back. There's no reason for us to do it now, and we're not going to. If the other two parties want to come together and agree that this should be an honourable way forward for all councillors, and we can get a motion through to that effect, then absolutely we would do that in the future, yes.
Because, I remember that you guys were actually kept out of power in Thurrock because of an independent who then became a Conservative, again without resigning his seat. Do you not think you should establish this as a matter of principle, whatever the other parties do?
Well, and then all we do then is skew the playing field for ourselves. I mean, we want to play on a level field with all the other parties. And as I say, we tried to get a consensus view on this. We were unable to do it. We thought, as I said before, it was an horrible way to go. But the other two parties disagreed.
Now, the emblem that you've chosen for your new party is a bee. It says in your press release it's to symbolise hard graft, working together towards common goals, sacrifice, and the importance of protecting the environment. But I thought, well, bees have declined rapidly in numbers. And looking at the forthcoming council elections, are you fearful that if you don't make this move, that's what's going to happen to you?
You're such a pessimist. The bee symbol, it establishes exactly that. We all know bees are hard-working. They work in their community, for their community, and they work together. Do you know what? We do feel there's a definite call for a third party in Thurrock. I think people genuinely get fed up with this, my deputy calls it pinky and perky politics. We get the crazy situation where when we were UKIP, we were said if we supported a good idea for the Tories, UKIP was siding with the Tories, they've done a pact. And then we go and support a good idea from the Labour Party, and no, they've done a pact with Labour. And it's a crazy situation. What we're saying is, look, a good idea is a good idea. It doesn't matter which side of the political spectrum it comes from. And we're happy to support any ideas that we feel are good for Thurrock. And that's what we've done. And I think it's taken a lot of the yin and the yang out of the politics in Thurrock. And I think that's been to its benefit. And we will continue to do that, hopefully.
If Henry Bolton resigned over the weekend, would you change your mind?
Absolutely not. No, that's been put to me just recently. And no, this is our new direction. We've gone down the UKIP route. We've naturally come to this decision that we've formed this new party. We genuinely are only really interested in doing what we do for the local people. We've got a great reputation. My guys work really hard and have worked really hard to do their best for the people of Thurrock. None of us have to do this. We all put ourselves up to do it because we really are passionate about it. And we want to remain passionate. We want to bring in others. There's people in Thurrock that have never got involved with local politics before because they don't want to be in the Tory party, they don't want to be in the Labour Party, don't want to be in UKIP. But for an independent group, they're quite happy that it's only concentrated in Thurrock. They're quite happy, we hope, to come in, get involved and try and make a difference in their area. And that's what we intend to try to achieve. Finally,
Graham, is UKIP finished?
I think that UKIP, it might well sort of linger on for a while, and maybe if it can survive the next year or two, then who knows? In 10 years' time, it might find a purpose again. But it's difficult to disagree with the view that it was really there. It was all about Brexit. That's been achieved, and I think the general feeling out in Thurrock is that we voted for it. It's been achieved. All right, we can argue about the details and whether we like the way it's being done, but I think that was job done for UKIP. I really do, and maybe they can find a role for themselves. And I wish them all the best. I really do, because they started us off well, and we've got no animosity towards the guys that are in UKIP and all the other branches. It's just that we've had a part in the ways is all.
Graham, thank you for your time this evening.